behind me just launched his ball down the hole. What I like about the guys behind me so far, I'm about 400 yards. Now I'm downwind of them, but all I can hear is them laughing. Love to hear that. Oh, by the way, they're not laughing at me, they're just having a really good time. You can see I'm probably getting a bit frustrated about that 3-putt, and while neither of the putts I hit were particularly good in any way, shape or form, I bet you if you look at the 2-putt percentage make ratio from that range, I was putting from about 50 feet on greens I'm not familiar with. Amateur golfers probably don't 2-putt from that range that often, so maybe I just need to chill out a little bit and smile. Right, 365 yard par 4, lovely looking hole. Right, getting a little bit warm now, so the top's come off and time to reapply. Oh. There's one little travel tip for you. I'm absolutely loving this stuff. Aqua Protect Factor 50, and it's the spray-on stuff. And it's really good, it's not greasy at all. I'm gonna have to go and wipe my hand a little bit. But I always kind of fail to put on sun cream on the course because I can't get that greasiness and that slipperiness off my hands. But if you ever see that, banana boat, spray on stuff, and you're looking for some sun cream for a golf holiday, top tip. Hey guys, apologies I had to play those first 3 holes extremely quickly. There's a 4-ball catching up with me from behind because I'd stopped on my previous video to do a couple of time lapses. So thank you to all of you who are tuning back in for the back 9 of the Harbour course here at Wild Dunes. And thank you for all of you who posted comments about thoughts on leading course designers and what they really mean to us as amateur golfers. As I take you through the back 9 here, my score is alright. I'm pretty happy with the way I've hit the ball so far. It's a pretty tight course, so it could have been a lot worse. I've definitely got away with a couple of loose drives which have just stayed in play. But what we're going to talk about here is another topic. It's going to be 10 reasons, or 10 ways, sorry, how to make your next golf holiday cheaper. Now I think these 10 reasons are going to apply to pretty much any kind of golf holiday you can go on, whether it's a weekend stay and play break in the UK for like less than 100 quid, or a bucket list golf holiday to a destination like this in South Carolina. Must admit, I am loving the par 3s here at the Harbour course. And some of you guys will know I really am not a fan of the modern tendency to build these back tee par 3s at like 220 yards. I like short ones, and so far the longest one we've had is about 180 yards. Most of them have been around the 150 mark, and this one is another little stunner. I don't know about you guys, when I see a hazard on a certain side of the hole, my tendency is to hit a shot which is a don't go in that direction shot, and that was very much a don't go left, please don't go left shot. That's the kind of thing where a better player, don't tell him I said this, but the likes of Crossfield wouldn't even be looking at that water hazard really, because it is a good 10 yards left to target, but I 100% can pull a 7-iron 10 yards left, so that was a huge bail, and I've not really left myself much, I don't think. Good way right of the green. As I feared off a better lie, that water hazard was very much in my mind. Right, so tip number one, and this video is actually based on a blog article written by one of my mates at Your Golf Travel, who pointed out 10 ways in which you can make your next golf holiday cheaper. Now, tip number one, and it seems like an obvious one, travel out of season. Now, in the travel industry, whether it's just golf or just generic travel, you're going to have low and high seasons. Typically in the UK, as an example, low season will run from October all the way through to end of March, and then the rest of the year is going to be classed as high season. Now, that's not going to be exactly the same months of the year in other parts of the world, but in a lot of cases there literally is a cut-off point. So as an example, Islantia Golf Resort in Spain, and as I said, these high and low seasons are fairly fluid depending on where you're going to go in the world, but you travel there on the 31st of August for 3 nights, 2 rounds, your price is going to be X. You travel there a day later on the 1st of September and you could save up to £190. So as you can see, planning your travel dates, and we're not necessarily saying you have to go in the depths of winter when it's going to be horrible, and let's face it, in Spain it's never really that horrible. But if you're savvy with your travel dates, and if you speak to your sales agents at Your Golf Travel, you can definitely knock quite a hefty chunk off the cost of your next golf holiday. Another great example of the low season saving is Turnberry, now that I think of it. I've actually taken advantage of this before, where you go in high season at the moment, it's like mega bucks for 1 night, 2 rounds, and rightly so. In its Elsa's one of the best courses on the planet, and the hotel is just as 5-star as it gets. King Robert the Bruce is a brilliant course too, but if you go in high season at the moment, that kind of package is like north of 500 quid. Don't quote me on these prices, do a bit of digging yourself, I'm just giving you these as examples. But I know that if you go during low season, that same package, 1 night, 2 rounds, 1 on the Elsa, 1 on the King Robert the Bruce, 5-star hotel again, you're looking much closer at like 200, 220 quid. So that's the kind of saving you can get at a whole range of venues across the world if you're looking at low season, if you're clever with your dates. I mean, what is that? What is that? Ugh. Actually played quite a nice shot then, but I think that landed on that collar. Just notched it forward a little bit, so I think I would have been putting from about 6 feet rather than 12 or 13, but anyway. Second top tip is be flexible with your travel dates, or be willing to take a bit of time off work. So this one relates quite specifically to like 1 night, 2 round stays in the UK, and you'll be surprised at how much money you can save if you choose to do arriving on a Sunday, playing golf then, staying the Sunday night, playing golf Monday and then heading home. As I said, that does involve taking the Monday off work in a lot of cases, and I do appreciate lots of people don't have the time to do that, but for those that do, this is definitely a surefire way of saving a bit of money. So that package, compared to doing the same thing but arriving on a Saturday, playing on Saturday, staying Saturday night, playing Sunday and heading home, definitely going to save a lot of money doing that. So that is tip number 2. By the way, if you want any more info on these ideas, these top 10 tips, I'll link the blog article below, so definitely go down and check that out. Obviously watch the rest of the video first, but yeah, if you want a bit more in-depth coverage of these 10 ideas, then definitely go and check that blog article out and see how you can save some money next time you're heading out for a bit of an away day. Right, tip number 3, and I would save you guys some cash, and I totally understand why some people wouldn't maybe want to do this or would prefer to do something else. I get it, when you're going for like 3 nights, 2 rounds of golf in Spain or Portugal, or maybe 3 rounds of golf, what you want to do is obviously sample three of the best golf courses that region has to offer. Change it up every single day. But there are resorts where you only got one golf course to play, but if you do pick those resorts and you're happy playing that course one day after the other, so 2 rounds at the same course, 3 rounds at the same course, wherever it might be, you can seriously save some cash. So you got resorts like Val del Este in Spain, you got Monte Castillo in Spain, lots of places like that where you get some ridiculous value for money if you're not too fussed about having to play the same course one day after another. Check those venues out, the links are in the description, lots of others like them. Harbour course here at Wild Dunes by Tom Fazio, continuing to impress. Definitely liking this place. Would like a bit more width though, please Tom, bit more space, bruh. Sit. Here's a question that's unrelated to the video. What do you guys think about music on the course? Seems to be a thing over here in America, which is, you never really hear it in the UK. Doesn't really bother me. Probably would be quite fun to play some casual golf with some music going. So, thoughts? Post some comments. Right, final hole of the day. Just before I hit my tee shot, it's a 434 yard par 4. Not hitting driver here, 2 irons out. This is, like the rest of the course, seriously narrow, but this one's particularly scaring me. But number 4 on the list, just before I hit my tee shot, and it's one of the best ones or the most obvious ones, and one of the most fun situations you can get yourself into anyway. Travel in numbers. In general, the bigger the group you've got going, whether that's in the UK, whether it's Euro, whether it's long haul, in general, if you've got a big group, you're going to save some money. Whether that's the lead booker going free, if you're a selfish so-and-so, you can do that with a lot of deals, or whether you spread that cost out amongst the group. Lots of promotions that we run at Your Golf Travel are based on group size as well, so you'll see throughout the year we'll be offering tailor-made golf balls, various other discounts and things like that. And in general, the bigger the group you have, the more you're going to save, the more freebies you'll get. So if you're part of a golf society, for example, definitely get in touch with Your Golf Travel and see what kind of savings you can make. And if you've got more mates who play golf than just make up your casual 4-ball, if you can get a group of 8 together, maybe even a group of 12, it's a surefire way of saving some cash. Oh, that is going to be so tight. Saw it landing, should be alright. Fairway found in the end, but look how tight this hole gets. And accidentally, because I didn't really know this is the case, but I'm kind of glad I hit 2 iron because I'm hitting into the fattest part of the fairway. I actually think I pitched over this bit down here somewhere. That's why I thought it was tighter than it was, but yeah, lucky to hit 2 iron. But fairway ball. Scary approach though, has to be said. Right, just before I carry on with my list, final words on the harbour course here at Wild Dunes. Absolutely loved it. It is very much resort golf. There's not a lot of room. I would like a bit more width ideally. This would stress me out if I had to play this course day in, day out. But as a holiday resort course, it's absolutely fantastic. Very much in line with the Fazio traits that I was talking about earlier. So it is definitely manufactured. These massive humps that line every fairway and every green definitely weren't there before they were built, I wouldn't imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would expect that to be the case. It's beautifully maintained. The conditioning has been fantastic. The greens are absolutely pure. And the design is just really fun. You got that mixture between really long par 4s and a couple of really long par 5s. In general, short par 3s, which I love. To anyone who's tuned into the front 9, the back 9, I've got a pretty decent score going. I'm fairly happy with the way I've played. Definitely could have been a few shots low with some putts dropping and a couple of silly mistakes. Well, not silly, just mistakes that I commonly make out there. Could have shot a decent score. So yeah, happy with my golf, loving the course. Wild Dunes, 2 thumbs up from me. Let's get this round done. Hopefully I can finish with a par. Flushed it. I think it might be a touch short, maybe a touch left, but I think it's good. Saw it bouncing again. I'll take that 2-putt to finish. Well, technically not a 2-putt, but you know what I mean. So, moving on, number 5 on the list, and this again seems like an obvious one to me, but booking early. I appreciate for a lot of people it might be quite difficult to be as organised as you'd ideally like to be when you're organising a golf holiday. Planning in advance though, you can save huge amounts of money. We're talking, if you take Turkey as an example, where you're looking at 5 to 7 nights and similar numbers of rounds of golf. If you book up to 9 to 10 months in advance, I know that's, again, I appreciate the fact that that's difficult, you can save hundreds and hundreds of pounds per person. Booking early also helps you secure like premium tee times that no one wants to be getting up at 7:30 in the morning to go out and play golf. Similarly, you don't want that twilight tee time where you're struggling for light at the end of your round. So booking early has other benefits as well, but it can definitely save you some money. Right, so I've just asked the nice lady at reception where the best place to grab some lunches, and I've told Huey's, and this gentleman's going to drop me down there. How long will it take, do you think, sir?
A couple minutes.
Cool. Yeah, just me, thanks. I am absolutely starving, but yeah, nice little service they got here at Wild Dunes Resort Transportation. Take me to lunch. Thank you very much. Okay, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Right, lunchtime. Yes. Thanks.
Anything else I can get for you?
No, it's fine, thank you. So this brings me on to point number 6 on the list, and that is to look out for all-inclusive deals. Obviously places like Turkey are renowned for all-inclusive. Morocco's got quite a broad spectrum of all-inclusive deals as well. You can get them pretty much anywhere if you look hard enough. We've got deals in Spain, we've got deals in Portugal. And when you think of the amount of money you'll spend on a golf holiday on food and drink, in January you're going to be on a B&B basis, maybe you go half board. But if you go all inclusive, all that spending money, which adds up seriously over 3 or 4 days, or even a week, as I'm here in America for a week now, it's going to be a significant amount of money. So all inclusive, you can fill your boots on drink, fill your boots on food, not have to put your hand in your pocket once during your holiday. That's a definite easy way of saving some money. Right, just before I hit the road, I'm going to go for the next one on the list in the top 10 tips to save some money. And this will vary depending on the trip you're going on and how many rounds of golf you're playing. But always that conversation I get asked quite frequently, what's the best thing to do, either rent clubs or take your own? Now, obviously we're all quite attached to our own golf clubs, so if money was no object, we would just do that, we'd book clubs every single time. But there is quite often, and in most cases, a cost associated with that, depending on which airline you're flying with. That could be anything between 50 quid and 75 pounds, something like that. So again, depending on how many rounds of golf you're playing, it might be more cost effective to rent clubs when you get to the resort. And in a lot of cases, the resorts these days have brand spankers all across the board, so they've probably got newer clubs than you've got anyway. So it's not as much of an issue as it used to be, where rental clubs did, you know, come from like the basement bucket kind of variety. In a lot of cases these days, rental clubs across the board are generally very, very good. So consider how many rounds of golf you got on your itinerary, consider how attached you are to your clubs, and then try and do some digging and figure out whether renting or bringing your own is more cost effective. Seems like a simple idea, but there are lots of different ramifications depending on which option you take and your itinerary. Always remember when you're going to long haul places, kind of like where I am this week with my South Carolina tour, we've got partnerships with people like British Airways who allow free club carriage. So if you're doing a long haul trip, definitely just bring your clubs, because it ain't gonna cost you anything. Anyway, I've got a 3-hour drive now to Palmetto Dunes. I'm quite tired, so I imagine I'll be stopping every now and again, stocking up on Red Bull. I know it's bad, but sometimes you just gotta do it. Just arrived at Palmetto Dunes. I kind of assumed I'd be in the hotel, so I went there first. I was wrong. They got me in one of their pretty cool beach villas. Like, the beach, annoyingly, is like, we got here when the sun was going down, and it went down quick, and now, as you can see, It is pretty damn dark out there, but literally the beach is like 100 yards that way. So it's a shame I got here when I did and not a little earlier. But having said that, as you can see, you take a look around, these beach villas are pretty cool, pretty swish. Nice living room, fully functioning kitchen, and master bedroom for me. So I think I've got a choice, another twin room in the opposite room. But yeah, absolutely fantastic looking villa. Looking forward to kind of kicking back once this video is done and doing a bit of editing and just chilling out a bit. But gonna go to number 8 on the list, and it seems like a pretty obvious one again, but peak times. If you avoid peak times on the golf courses, you're probably going to save a bit of money here and there. So peak times generally is between 9 AM and 11 AM, primarily because most golfers on their holidays want to get their golf not over and done with. That's certainly not the right way to put it, but they want to get their golf done. They can enjoy the rest of the day to use the resort facilities, go and explore local towns, or in general get on the beers basically. But if you can flip that on its head and you're not really that fussed about any of that, and primarily you just want to play the golf and concentrate on that, and you want to save a bit of money too, Twilight fees are a great way of doing that. And just an example, if you look at the blog article I mentioned earlier, again, link in the description below, Monterey, one of the best courses in the Algarve, sometimes throughout the year you can save up to about 60 quid on the Twilight green fee discount there. So yeah, that's number 8 on the list. I'm going to eat my food now, which is kind of this sad box of chicken and pasta and stuff, but I've already tucked into a little bit of it, and it is pretty damn tasty from the general store at the resort. So number 9 on the list kind of relates to what I was saying just a minute ago on number 8. If you're not that fussed about nightlife, this might work for you. And that's kind of shifting the days on which you take a long weekend break. So typically when people go to Spain or Portugal, they tend to do 3 or 4 days, let's say. And again, typically they tend to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because they want the cream of the crop when it comes to nightlife. So they want to go out Friday, go out Saturday, make their way kind of down the Albufeira Strip, for example, or throughout bars in Villamor, that kind of thing. But again, if you're not that fussed about that and you're quite happy just chilling on your resort in your hotel, or just popping out for an evening meal and going through all the bars isn't necessarily a thing, instead of doing Thursday to Sunday, and this kind of relates to airlines actually, why not switch it from Saturday through to Tuesday? Invariably, if you do a quick Skyscanner search, you'll find at various points throughout the year, your flights to exactly the same destinations on exactly the same week, let's call it, might well save you a few quid here or there. So you'll see as you scroll through the blog article, my colleague George posted a screenshot of this, and I think, let's have a little look, 48 quid he saved from switching it from Thursday to Sunday to Saturday to Tuesday. There's definitely money to be saved on flight options as well. I'm going to tuck into this now, I really am. So the last one, guys, and this is a bit of a shameless plug if I'm totally honest, but it's basically speak to us about it. If you've got a certain budget in mind or a certain destination, there might be something we can suggest to save you a bit of money. And the amount of people I've spoken to who take it upon themselves to organise these massive trips. I spoke to a guy the other day who annually had been organising a trip for up to 16 people. The logistics involved in actually doing that and taking that stress on is it's a bit crazy really, because I'm pretty sure we would be able to beat the vast majority of people's self-made packages, if you like. So definitely drop me an email if you have any ideas or you need any suggestions. I'm sure you all know it by now, but here it is popping up on screen. Or just call the call centre, submit an inquiry through the website. As I said, I'm here to help. We're here to help try and make not only you guys save a bit of money on your next golf holiday, but also just make the whole process a lot easier for you guys. Get you guys enjoying some golf in some foreign countries, having some fun new times. So yeah, there's 10 very obvious, I would imagine, ways for a lot of you guys of saving some cash on your next golf holiday. If you like this video and you like the look of the harbour course at Wild Dunes Resort, have any questions about that place, again, just smash some comments down there. I'll get back to everyone who posts a comment. And if you like this kind of content and you haven't already, subscribe to Your Golf Travel channel. I've got another 6 golf courses I'm playing here in South Carolina. I've done 3, got 6 left to go. I'm pretty tired now, so I'm gonna hit the sack and get ready for tomorrow morning, where I've got a very special treat lined up for myself, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the video from that place too. See you soon.